and welcome back to another episode of English at Gym, Listen and Speak. I'm your host, Sarah, and as always, I am joined by my favorite person to chat with, David. How's it going, David?
Hey, Sarah. I'm doing great, though I'm a little tired today. I spent the whole morning trying to help my 7-year-old nephew with his homework. And let me tell you, I think I need to go back to primary school myself.
Oh no, was it the math? It's always the math that gets us, isn't it?
It was everything, but mostly it was the technology. He was sitting there with a tablet, flipping through screens like a pro, and I was just, looking for a pencil. I felt like a dinosaur, a very confused dinosaur.
I totally get that. And actually, that's the perfect lead-in to what we're talking about today.
Oh? What's on the menu for today's talk?
Well, we're diving into modern-day education for children. It has changed so much since we were kids, right? Today, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the I have no idea how this app works side of learning.
That is so relevant. By the way, Sarah, you said lead in. For our friends listening who are learning English, what does that mean exactly?
Great catch. A lead-in is just a way to introduce a topic. It's like a bridge that takes you from one conversation to the next. So David's story about his nephew was the perfect bridge, the perfect lead-in to our topic about schools today.
Nice, I like that. So yeah, back to my nephew. He's 7, right? And he has a Smartboard in his classroom. When I was 7, we had a chalkboard, the green ones, and if you moved your fingernails across it, skirch, that horrible sound.
Don't even remind me. That sound makes my skin crawl. But did you actually have those dusty erasers? The ones you had to clap together outside to get the white dust out?
Oh, absolutely. I was the designated eraser clapper for my class. I thought it was a promotion, but really the teacher just didn't want to get dusty. But now, kids are using iPads. They are coding. Sarah, my nephew is learning how to code a robot at 7. I was still trying to figure out how to tie my shoelaces at that age.
Right? It's wild. But while we're on this, there's a phrase people use a lot when talking about kids and tech. They call them digital natives.
Digital natives. Okay, let me guess. Does that mean people who were born into a world where the internet and computers already existed?
Exactly, like they were born into the digital world. For them, a touchscreen is as natural as a spoon. For us, well, we're more like digital immigrants. We moved into this world and had to learn the language.
I definitely feel like an immigrant who forgot his passport sometimes. But, seriously though, do you think all this tech is actually, helping? Like, is it making them smarter or just better at staring at screens?
That is the million-dollar question, David. The million-dollar question, that's a common idiom we use when something is a very important or difficult question to answer.
I like that. A million-dollar question. Well, looking at my nephew, he's very fast at finding information. If he wants to know why the sky is blue, he doesn't wait for me to explain it, partly because I'd probably give him a wrong answer. He just asks a voice assistant.
Right, but see, that's the thing. Education used to be about memorizing facts. When was the Battle of Hastings, or what is the capital of Kazakhstan? Now, the facts are everywhere, so modern education is shifting more towards how to use that information. Critical thinking,
Critical thinking. Yeah, I guess that's more useful than just being a walking encyclopedia. But I don't know, I feel like they might be losing some of the grit.
Grit, that's a good word. Can you explain that one?
Sure, grit is like toughness or sticking with something even when it's really hard. Like if you can't find the answer in 5 seconds on Google, do you give up or do you keep digging? I worry that because everything is so fast now, kids might lose that, patience.
That's a really fair point. It's like we've traded the struggle for speed. But then again, look at how creative they can be. I saw a video of a 10-year-old who edited a whole movie on her phone. The editing was better than some professional TV shows I've seen.
That's true. I can barely crop a photo without accidentally deleting my entire gallery. It's amazing, but also a bit intimidating.
It is. It's a totally different world. And it's not just the tech. The way teachers talk to kids is different too. It's much more collaborative now. It's not just sit down and be quiet.
Oh man, if I talked back to my teacher, even just to ask a question sometimes, it was like, go to the principal's office. Now it's all about sharing your feelings and working in teams, which is great, but it's a big change.
It really is. It's about soft skills. Have you heard that term before?
I have, but let's break it down for our listeners.
So, soft skills are things like communication, empathy, and teamwork. They aren't hard facts like math or science, but they are super important for real life. Modern schools are putting a huge emphasis on that.
Emphasis. That means giving something extra importance or focus, right?
Spot on. They are focusing more on how to be a human in a room with other humans, which, let's be honest, we all need a bit of help with sometimes.
Especially after spending 3 years on Zoom calls. But, speaking of school, I remember this one time I must have been 8. I tried to help the teacher by cleaning the chalkboard with a wet sponge, but the sponge was actually, it had some kind of oily floor cleaner on it.
Oh no, David, what happened?
I turned the whole board into a giant greasy mess. No one could write on it for a week. The teacher was well, she wasn't angry, she was just disappointed, which is way worse.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. The classic teacher line. That's hilarious. See, that's a hard lesson learned.
Exactly, a hard lesson, something you learn through a mistake. Anyway, I think we should talk more about how parents are handling all this change because, wow, it's a lot for them too.
Oh, definitely. Let's get into that in a bit.
So, Sarah, we were just talking about the kids, but can we please talk about the parents for a second? Because honestly, I think they are the ones who are really, feeling the heat with all these changes.
Oh, absolutely. Feeling the heat? That's a great expression, David. It means feeling pressure or stress because of a difficult situation. And being a parent in 2026, yeah, that's a lot of heat.
It really is. I mean, my sister, she's the mother of my nephew. She has like 5 different apps on her phone just for his school. There's one for his grades, one for his lunch menu, one for the school bus tracker, and then the dreaded, the WhatsApp group for parents.
Oh, the WhatsApp group. That is the stuff of nightmares. It's constant, isn't it? Ping, ping, ping. Does anyone know what color socks they need for Tuesday? Does anyone have a spare costume for the play?
Exactly. It's what we call information overload.
That's a perfect term. Information overload is when you get so much information at once that your brain just, well, it kind of shuts down. You can't process it all.
Yeah, my sister definitely has that. She told me she once spent 20 minutes looking for an email about a field trip only to realize it was posted on a digital classroom board that she forgot she had a password for. It's like you need a PhD just to manage the admin side of your kid's education.
Right? And it's funny because parents used to just send their kids to school with a lunchbox and see them at 3 p.m. Now, parents are expected to be like co-teachers.
Yes, and that brings up another thing. Not every parent is tech savvy.
Good word. Tech savvy basically means you're good with technology. You know your way around a computer or a smartphone.
Right, but imagine if you aren't. If you struggle to even open a PDF, and then the teacher says, "Okay, please upload your child's project to the cloud by midnight." I mean, that is just overwhelming.
It really is. Overwhelming, that's when something feels like it's too much to handle. It's too big or too difficult. I actually have a funny story about that. A friend of mine, let's call her Lucy, she was trying to message the teacher on one of those school apps. She wanted to ask if her son could miss school for a dentist appointment.
Okay, sounds simple enough.
You'd think so, but she accidentally attached a meme of a cat wearing sunglasses that said, "I'm too cool for school," instead of the doctor's note.
No way. Did she realize it?
Not until the teacher replied with a laughing emoji and said, "I agree, but I still need the official note, Lucy." She was so embarrassed. She wanted to disappear into the floor.
Oh man, that's hilarious. But see, that's the thing. The line between school and home has become so blurry.
Blurry. I like that. It's not clear anymore.
Exactly. And because of that, parents often feel like they have to be backseat drivers in their child's learning.
Ooh, backseat driver. That's a funny one. Usually it's someone in a car who isn't driving but keeps telling the driver what to do. Turn left, slow down, you're going too fast.
My mom is the queen of being a backseat driver. But in education, it's like parents are constantly checking the online portal to see every single grade as soon as it's posted. Back in our day, you didn't know your grades until the report card came home in an envelope, right?
Exactly. You had time to maybe prepare your parents if the grades weren't great. You could be extra helpful, wash the dishes, be an angel for a week, and then show them the report card.
The pre-report card charm offensive. I know it well. But now, the parents get a notification on their phone the second the teacher hits enter. There's no escape.
It's true. And I wonder if that stops kids from learning how to, manage their own mistakes. If mom and dad are always watching the screen, when does the kid learn to be responsible?
That's a deep thought, Sarah. I think it's a double-edged sword.
Ooh, another good expression. A double-edged sword is something that has both a good side and a bad side.
Right. The good side is that parents are more involved and can help if a child is really struggling. But the bad side is that it can be too much pressure for everyone. The kids feel like they are being watched 24/7, and the parents feel like they are failing if they don't check the app every hour.
It's a lot to juggle.
Juggle? Like a clown with balls?
Exactly, but we use it to mean managing many different tasks or responsibilities at once, like I'm trying to juggle work, the kids' school apps, and making dinner.
I feel like I'm juggling chainsaws most days. But I've noticed that some schools are starting to realize this. They are trying to simplify things.
Really? How?
Well, some schools are having no tech weekends. No apps, no homework on the computer, just go outside and play.
I love that. It gives everyone a chance to unplug.
Unplug. That means to disconnect from technology and the internet, like pulling the plug out of the wall.
We all need to unplug sometimes, especially the kids. They need to get their hands dirty, literally, in the mud.
Totally. I remember being covered in mud most of my childhood. My biggest educational discovery was finding out that worms actually move when you poke them. You can't learn that from an iPad.
So true. But hey, before we move on, I want to talk a bit about the social side of modern education. It's not just about the books or the tech, it's about how kids are making friends these days.
Oh, that's a whole different ball game. Yeah, it really is, like I said, a whole different ball game.
Oh, wait, stop right there. Before you explain the ball game, let's tell our listeners what that means. A whole different ball game.
Good point. It's a very common idiom. It just means a completely different situation, or something much more complex than what you were talking about before. So, moving from tech in the classroom to social lives, yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. So what's changed? I mean, when we were kids, if you wanted to see your friend, you rode your bike to their house and knocked on the door, right?
And then their mom would answer and say, "He's eating his peas. Come back in 10 minutes." Now, my nephew doesn't knock on doors. He logs on. He meets his friends in Minecraft or Roblox. They have headsets on, they're talking, they're building cities. It's like a digital playground.
It's fascinating, isn't it? They are hanging out virtually.
Hanging out, that's a classic phrase. It just means spending time with someone in a relaxed way. But I wonder, is it the same? I mean, can you really bond with someone if you're just a blocky character on a screen?
Well, research actually shows that for this generation, those friendships feel very real. But there's a downside. Have you heard of FOMO?
Oh, I know this one. It stands for fear of missing out.
Exactly. And because kids are online all the time, they can see exactly when their friends are playing a game without them. In our day, if your friends were playing soccer and you weren't there, you just didn't know. You were happy at home eating a sandwich.
Ignorance was bliss. Ignorance is bliss. That's a fancy way of saying that if you don't know about something bad or annoying, it can't bother you. But now, these kids see everything. They see the group chats, the party invites. It can be really tough on their self-esteem.
It really can. And that's why schools today are focusing so much on digital citizenship.
Digital citizenship. That sounds very official, like they get a digital passport.
Not quite. It's about teaching kids how to be kind and responsible online. Netiquette.
Ah, net etiquette. Like, don't be a troll. Don't say mean things just because you're behind a screen.
Exactly. Schools are trying to teach them that what you say online is just as important as what you say face to face.
Face to face. That means in person, looking at the other person. I actually tried to join my nephew in one of his games last week. I thought, I'm a cool uncle. I can do this.
Oh, I have to hear this. How did it go?
Terrible. I spent 10 minutes just trying to figure out how to make my character walk. I kept walking into a wall. My nephew was just sighing. He was like, Uncle David, just press W. And then a dragon ate me.
A dragon?
Yes, a dragon. And all his friends, I could hear them in the headset. They were all giggling. I was the noob.
Noob. That's a great piece of slang for our learners. A noob is someone who is new to a game or a task and doesn't know what they're doing yet.
That was definitely me. I was the ultimate noob. But it made me realize how much social currency these kids have in these games. If you're good at the game, you're the cool kid. It's like being the captain of the football team was for us.
That is such a good point. The social ladder has moved online. But another thing schools are doing now, which I think is amazing, is teaching empathy.
Empathy. That's being able to understand and share the feelings of another person, right?
Exactly. When we were in school, if there was a bully, the teacher might just say, ignore them or work it out. Now, there are whole programs about standing up for people.
Standing up for someone. That means to support or defend someone who is being treated unfairly.
Yes, and schools are teaching kids to be upstanders instead of bystanders. A bystander is someone who just watches something happen but doesn't do anything. An upstander is someone who speaks up.
I love that. That's a really positive change. It's about building a community in the classroom. And it's not just about stopping the bad stuff. It's about celebrating the good stuff, like who did something kind today.
Exactly. It's building that emotional intelligence, or EQ. We always talk about IQ for being smart with books, but EQ is about being smart with people.
I think I need a higher EQ to deal with that dragon that ate me. But seriously, do you think kids are becoming more socially aware because of this?
I think so. They are much more aware of things like the environment, or fairness, or mental health. They have the vocabulary for it. When I was 10, if I was sad, I just said, I'm sad. Now, kids might say, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and I need some me time.
Me time. I love that. I need more me time. That just means time spent relaxing by yourself to recharge your energy.
We all do, David. We all do. But, there is one thing I worry about. With all this focus on digital and online, do you think kids are losing the ability to just, read the room?
Read the room. Okay, explain that one.
It means to understand the vibe or the emotions of a group of people without them saying anything. Like if you walk into a room and everyone is quiet and looking at the floor, you know something is wrong. You read the room.
Ah, right. If you're always looking at a screen, you might miss those nonverbal cues, the look in someone's eyes or their body language.
Exactly. It's that human connection that can't be replicated by an emoji.
Replicated. That means copied or made again exactly the same way. Yeah, a heart emoji is nice, but a real hug? That's the real deal.
The real deal, meaning the real thing, the best version.
You know, speaking of real things, I remember this game we used to play at recess. It was called Ground is Lava.
Oh, I remember that. You have to jump from bench to bench because the ground is hot lava, right?
Yes, and I remember one time I tried to jump from a trash can to a slide, and I didn't make it.
Oh no, David. Did you fall in the lava?
I fell in the mud, and I had to go to the nurse's office to get lava-proof pants, which were actually just some spare, oversized track pants they had in a box. I looked ridiculous.
Haha. But see, that's a shared memory. You and your friends still talk about the lava pants, don't you?
We do, every time we meet up. And that's the thing about school. It's those silly, physical moments that stick with you.
They really do. They stick with you. They stay in your memory for a long time.
So, I guess the challenge for modern education is how do we keep the lava pants moments while still learning how to code robots?
That is the big question. And I think we should talk about some practical tips for how to balance those two worlds.
Definitely. Let's do that.
So, David, after all this talk about digital natives and lava pants, what's our game plan? I mean, for the parents and learners listening, how do we actually, survive this modern education world?
Well, my first piece of advice is don't let a 7-year-old see you fail at a video game. It's bad for your ego. But seriously, I think the biggest thing is finding a happy medium.
Oh, I love that expression, a happy medium. It means a balance between two different things. Not too much tech, but not totally ignoring it either.
Exactly. You can't just ban iPads. That's like banning pens 30 years ago. But you can set boundaries. Boundaries are like rules or limits about what is okay and what isn't, like no tablets at the dinner table.
That's a huge one, because if everyone is looking at a screen, no one is catching up. Catching up, that's when you talk to someone you haven't seen for a bit to find out what's been happening in their life.
Right. And another thing I've noticed with my nephew is that he loves it when I actually ask him to teach me. If I say, hey, how do you build that house in Minecraft? He gets so excited. It turns the screen time into a social bridge.
That is a fantastic tip, David. Instead of just being a monitor who says, stop that, be a collaborator.
Collaborator, someone who works together with another person on a project. It makes the kid feel like an expert. And let's be honest, they are the experts when it comes to this stuff.
They really are. But what about the soft skills we talked about earlier? How do we help with those at home?
I think it's about leading by example. If kids see us, being kind to the delivery driver or listening patiently when someone is upset, they'll do the same. We can't expect them to have high EQ if we're constantly yelling at traffic.
Guilty as charged. I definitely need to work on my traffic EQ. But, another practical tip is to encourage unstructured play.
Unstructured play. Does that mean play with no rules?
Basically, it's just giving them a box, some sticks, or a ball and saying, go figure it out. No app, no instructions, no levels to beat, just their imagination. It helps them learn how to think outside the box.
Think outside the box. That's a classic. It means to think creatively and find original ways to solve problems. I remember once I spent 3 hours building a spaceship out of a refrigerator box. Best day of my life.
See? That's the grit and creativity right there. So, okay, let's do a quick recap for our listeners of some of the big ideas we covered today.
Great idea. A recap, that's a short summary of the main points.
So first, we talked about digital natives, kids born into tech, and how education is shifting from memorizing facts to critical thinking and soft skills.
Then we talked about the parents, the information overload from all those school apps, and the struggle to juggle everything without being a backseat driver.
And in the last part, we looked at the social side, digital citizenship, the social ladder in online games, and the importance of reading the room in real life.
It's a lot to take in, but it's also an exciting time. Kids have the world at their fingertips. They just need a little guidance on how to not get eaten by dragons.
Exactly. Well, we hope this episode gave you some food for thought. Food for thought, that's something that makes you think seriously about a topic.
It definitely gave me food for thought, mostly that I need to practice my W key skills on the keyboard.
Well, thank you so much for listening to English at Gym. Listen and speak. We love having you here with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps us out.
And we want to hear from you. What was school like for you? Are you a digital native or a digital immigrant like me? Let us know in the comments.
We'll be back next week with another topic to help you practice your English while you're at the gym, on the bus, or just relaxing at home.
Until then, keep speaking, keep listening, and watch out for the lava.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.